Hey guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of Ultras 11. I'm Jose.
And I'm Al.
Sorry, we're a couple days late. We usually record Mondays, but I was tired. I'm a bit of a
Jose was
diva
tired this
sometimes.
week.
If I work more than 3 hours in a week, I have to rest a full day. It's a thing of mine. But yeah, so we decided we'd do it after the Champions League game, so it gives us something to talk about. Maybe, even though we might not even talk about it today, we don't know. We do know.
We don't
actually
know what we're doing.
talking about. But anyways, today we're gonna talk to you about Girona and Bologna. We're gonna talk about
Bet you didn't
Roma
see that coming.
because Al is demanding that I
No.
actually speak about them
No, don't you put this evil on me, Joe.
and stop being so humble about Roma, like whatever, like it's all Al. It's not me. I don't want to actually talk about Roma. I never want to talk about Roma.
Yeah, okay.
And of course, when we talk about Roma, we have to talk about Juve.
It's only right.
It's only right we actually touch upon our teams. Before we get started on the first topic with Girona and Bologna, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, do your thing. We've been doing very well with TikTok. Thank you guys for the constant notifications, even though it is kind of annoying popping up on my phone. But regardless, I actually like that. It's fun. And yeah.
Let's get right into it, Joe.
Let's get into it. Girona was in first place at one point in La Liga. They were absolutely dog walking everybody, beating Atletico, drawing against the other top dogs, dismantling Sevilla, which,
I mean,
fuck Sevilla.
It sounds a lot worse than it actually is when you actually take in how bad Sevilla is this year.
Yeah, but still, fuck Sevilla at all costs.
Yeah, obviously.
Sorry, you made me burp there, I guess. Now they sit in second place. They're 9 points roughly clear of the fifth spot, which is good for them, at least. They beat Atalanta this weekend. No, sorry, we're talking about Bologna now. Bologna is
you kind of jump from Girona to Bologna.
Sorry. I meant to say we're going to talk about Bologna as well.
Confused me there.
Girona is holding a Champions League spot, and they are quite comfortable there. Bologna, on the other hand, is 3 points clear of whoever's in fifth place, 4 points clear of whoever's in sixth. And if this maintains, Italy might actually have 5 spots in the Champions League anyway, so Bologna could be in it. And these are two teams that weren't even supposed to be in this position, respectfully. Like, I still remember, I think, not less than a month ago, I said, yeah, Bologna is going to drop points.
No one could have bet on that.
Clearly, they're not dropping points, and they're playing like a team possessed.
Yes.
I think, though, like, on that note, Girona faces more of a problem if they were to finish in the top 4 spot. And that's simply because they are owned by the City Group, which, you guessed it, obviously owns Manchester City. So ownership would actually have to seize control of Girona, to our understanding, just because, like, whatever. Or I guess maybe forfeit their spot in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I don't know actually how it works out.
I'll say that's they would either have to sell the club basically and have new ownership that's different, or they wouldn't be able to play because they'd both be in the competition.
So my question to you, Al, is what do you see happening with this kind of predicament that they're in? Are they going to sell the club? Are they going to seize the spot? Forfeit the spot? What do you think Girona's step is?
Clearly, the City Group obviously bought this team because they want to do something with it. I'm not saying they're trying to make it a top team in Spain, but they're going to try to make this thing give them some money and try to make them a top team. Maybe a consistent Champions League team. And the only thing with that is having this double ownership and that's kind of could potentially ruin it. This group is a lot smarter than I think people realize, and very simply they'll find a way and sell it, sell the club, but it'll be to somebody else that is probably is a part of that City thing, just under a different name. You know what I mean? They'll probably do something like that just so they can both play, because they're going to want to have both of their teams in that competition. They're not going to put one team at a disadvantage because too bad. You know what? City's a bigger team right now, so you know what? They're gonna go. You guys are gonna stay back.
But given this new format and everything, where it kind of like you could not be drawn in the same group, like whatever it is, do you agree with the rule that they shouldn't own both teams?
Yeah, Joe. Even without the new format, even with the old format, because at some point they can match up, and then, I mean, it might not happen. It probably won't happen. But at the end of the day, you don't know what the guy's going to say. Obviously, a team like, let's say, City and Girona play in the Champions League. City's obviously, the bigger team. He's going to want to try to get them as or get them as far as possible. So that game there, he might say, hey, Kai, tell that guy, talk to the coach or talk to the guys there and say, you know what, hey, maybe let this one go today because, we want City to go through whatever, and kind of maybe threaten them. And then they're going to have to do it. So, like, just to avoid stuff like that, and just there's already corruption in football, to avoid more corruption and something that won't make it FIFA any money. So they're for sure going to stop it. It's for me, it's stupid if they're able to own both.
So, speaking about both teams now, if they're both able to hang on and maintain a Champions League spot, what does it mean for them from like a financial perspective? Sorry, am I screaming into the mic?
No.
Sorry, my bad.
Just wanted to fix it so you could talk a little bit more in the mic.
Sorry, man.
I hear your voice more.
Thank you.
So sensual.
Thank you. So I forgot what I was saying. I lost my train. Oh, Champions League spot. If they're ready to maintain it, what does it mean for both these teams from like a financial perspective, a roster perspective, and like overall recognition in the world?
For who?
For both Bologna and
Girona.
Girona.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about City.
No. Like both Girona. Okay. Fuck City.
No, because we were talking about the ownership.
No, but I said fuck City.
Okay, yeah, fuck City, obviously, dude.
Okay,
we're on the same page now. Dude, I mean, it's massive, man. Every team, no matter where they are in the standings, dreams about making the Champions League. That's the the big accomplishment. Obviously, you don't want to get relegated, especially for one of those teams, but you to experience going to Champions League, and then you're playing against a team from Spain, a team from wherever, a team from England, and just having that as experience, playing these guys that you've never played before in a different country, it's a crazy experience. And then for people around the world that don't know what Bologna is, and they're like, what the fuck is this team? They're going to see them in Champions League, and they're going to get to know what this team is, who this team is. So 100%, man, it's a massive thing. Even like for Girona too. Like, dude, I barely knew who this team was, and all of a sudden they're taking out all these teams, and you see them first place, and they're maintaining it. Now, okay, they've dropped a bit, but they were maintaining it for a while. And I was like, okay, this isn't just like Udinese last season where they were first place after like 5 games. And everyone's like, oh, dude, Udinese. And then they just lost every other game. They were actually they were serious about what they were doing. So, for these teams now, man, just to get that kind of, they won't be put in the spotlight because of, all the other teams and how big they are, but just to be kind of shown a little bit of that spotlight and people to know them more and just get to know them even better. It's massive for clubs, man. Every club dreams about that. And then the money you get from that, it helps, man, so much. Because those clubs are not like, even, dude, Roma is a lot better off than some of these clubs. So, they get a big chunk of that money and they're like, holy, like we can actually maybe buy someone, have these instead of, trying to negotiate 500K to try to get somebody.
Yeah. I think the biggest influence will be the financial repercussions, which is not a bad thing. It's the good thing. Like Bologna, obviously they're comfortable financially speaking. They've always been able to flip players, make their deals and stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing for them is obviously they're going to get plucked apart player wise, even maybe coach, and we'll touch upon their coach in a second.
Yeah, and that happens.
But I think if the money is invested properly, will they constantly be a team that's in Champions League? No. But it gives them a better financial platform that they're getting that large bonus. What is it? I think 40 to 60 mil Champions League team gets, something like that. So for them, that goes a long way then, especially because they're kind of more of a feeder team. They like to develop players and stuff like that. Rather than getting all these deals on on loans and whatever, they could actually buy somebody outright. Like a guy like Joshua Zirkzee, they could actually own him now.
Yeah.
They'll have the financial capabilities to buy him out from their clause that they have. And I think that is probably the biggest thing. Overall recognition, I think, obviously it's nice for the players and for the fans of Bologna, but that's as far as it goes. Even with Girona in that regard, I think that's as far as it goes because they'll just be looked at from everybody else as that team that, they're the underdog. They're going to be the punching bag of this group because they're not built for that.
That's just who they are.
Yeah. You see it with other clubs right now, how they're not built for Europe. They're in Europe, but they just don't have the depth. They're getting Newcastle, even though they have the financial ability, they don't really have the squad.
You got really exposed in Champions League.
Right. So I think that's the financial aspect is probably the biggest for both these clubs.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's massive for that, man. That'll help them out so much.
But obviously we mentioned how Bologna, a lot of players are going to get plucked away. We're going to speak to our strong suit here and talk about Serie A. just be like, no disrespect to Girona, but we don't really follow La Liga as much as like you think we would, maybe, I guess. Whatever. So we're gonna talk about Thiago Motta. Thiago Motta is a name on everybody's lips. He is one of the hottest coaches on the market right now, even though he's technically not on the market, but you know what I mean. Juve is linked with him. Big Premier League teams are linked with him. Barcelona's linked with him. Like, there's a lot of teams that are trying to get that man's signature.
Mhm.
So let's talk just strictly about Thiago Motta. What do you think is the best next step for Thiago Motta?
Juve, obviously, dude. Come on.
Well, if you're
No,
gonna,
he need, like, I think, real talk here. I think you see the steps he's taken. You see what he's doing with a team like Bologna, and it's not just guys are just having a one-off season, a good season. We've seen it with other teams like Sassuolo in the past and stuff. That this thing, the coach leaves and he's not that guy at all. Thiago Motta, man, you see the way he plays, and you watch the system that he's using, and this new found football that guys like Mourinho, Allegri, that they just can't get into their head that, hey, this is what it is now. You got to keep up with times. The past is the past. It worked in the past. It might still work some games now. It's not efficient. It's not going to work every time. Thiago Motta, he's one of these new age coaches that he's got it figured out, man. I really think next, in the summertime, I'm not saying Juve. I would love him at Juve. I really think that he would take us to that next level and have this, especially the guys we have. Dude, I'd be so excited for next season. But he just needs to make sure that whatever move he does, it's the right move for him, because he doesn't want to over jump. You know what I mean? And overstep and go to a team but I genuinely think Barcelona would be the wrong team for him.
Yeah.
Given the state and just the expectations right now, and people have to realize that they were privileged to have Messi for so long. Mm-hmm. They don't have that anymore, and now they actually have to figure it out on their own and try to build something. Before they can kind of make it work, because dude, Messi was just Messi. He can fucking win a game. At the end of the day,
you throw him on the field and you just let Messi's magic take over the game. Control the tempo and everything like that.
But personally, him making that move to Barca, I think will be too early and just wrong place, wrong time. You get a proper Barca team that's consistent, that's a dominant team like they once were. Then okay, I can see him going there and doing very well. But honestly, I do think if he makes that move next, and I'm not saying this to be biased, I think Juve would be the perfect next step for him.
Okay, well, we'll touch upon the Thiago Motta to Juve rumor later. We'll talk about Juve. Yeah. I just want to question a little bit of the whole Barcelona thing. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, you look at Barcelona right now, mm-hmm. and you look at Bologna right now. Obviously, okay, there's levels. Barcelona's a huge team.
Yeah.
They're world renowned. They're fucking one of the top teams in Europe, even when they're at their worst. Mm-hmm. They still have star-studded players, and Bologna doesn't. But one could argue that Barcelona's kind of in that weird phase of, growing youngsters, developing their own talent again, and really getting in touch with what made them big. Mm-hmm. Thiago Motta is kind of familiar with working with youngsters, getting the best out of and reviving careers of these youngsters that were already written off, like Orsolini. You've written him off. A lot of other teams written him off. And then Thiago Motta steps in, revitalizes his career. And he's only 24?
Yeah.
And his career's already revitalized. Calafiori. Roma decided he was worth nothing and he was a bum and this and that.
And now you look at him.
And now look at him. He's one of the best center backs in the league. Even I think it's Lewis Ferguson. Yeah, Lewis Ferguson. Mm. Their center mid.
Yeah.
Written off, and now look what Thiago Motta's doing. So I could argue that maybe that is the right step, given the youngsters that Barcelona has. Is there more expectations? And is a guy like De Zerbi even feeling those repercussions of expectations? Kind of. But a guy like Thiago Motta is different mentally. I feel like he has that he's because he's a former player.
Yes and no. I agree with some of what you're saying, but it's also too that it's still this will be the next step is going to be the first big team he manages.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, him staying in Italy, I think will be beneficial for him, and not making that jump to another league yet. You stay in Italy. You try to bring your ideas and that to a top club. And, dude, he gets Juve going, a couple years, and then in, 2-3 years, Barcelona, these youngsters now that, they're at an age where, they're starting to get to like their primes. You have these guys like that are, that are grown into like that Barca mentality and they're Barcelona, then I could see him making them.
Mhm.
I just think, especially like the thing, man, I think him staying in Italy, that would like that for him, that'll help him in his career big time.
Yeah. No, like listen, I'm agreeing with you. I do think if he's gonna make the next step, it shouldn't be abroad to like one of the biggest, if not the biggest teams in the world. I do think he should kind of like slowly build himself up, like coach Juve, Milan, like another like a top side that's competing for something in Italy, then maybe move abroad. But the idea of him coaching Barcelona it's kind of intriguing. Former player of Barcelona too, right? So like he knows the mentality that they have,
Yeah, but man, he's
got un club.
But he's got that right mentality to fit Juve too, man.
Should we talk about Juve?
Maybe.
Okay, so we're gonna segue straight into Juve over here. So Al, you talked about Thiago Motta going to Juve.
I might have mentioned it a couple times.
Why do you think Thiago Motta is the right choice for Juve right now?
Just because, like I said before, man, he's got this new style of play. He's got these ideas, and just like the way he plays. Like when you watch, I saw this breakdown from this guy on TikTok, JFTV. He's another obviously Juve fan, but he was going through and he was breaking down like Bologna's like starting 11 and basically like when they move, okay, when they're in attack, like this is where like these guys move, this is where this guy goes up here, Calafiori goes up here, this guy kind of drops, they go to a 3 and like just breaking it down. And I
actually seen that video too.
I think I'm pretty sure I sent it to you.
Yeah, I did.
It's like defend first, you have to have a solid defense, but the way they break out an attack and everything, man, it's just like this is what football is becoming. This is the new game, and this is where you're getting a little bit, and he has that perfect mix of like the old and the new.
Yeah.
And it's working for Bologna. And yeah, okay, obviously he can go to Juve and it can, not work out for him and he can struggle getting his ideas through. But I just think that like the type of guy he has with that that winning mentality that he has, I just see him and Juve being just like the perfect match. And I would love a guy like Conte back, but then I also, like a part of me, I don't want to keep going backwards to all these bring in some guys. We have all these new players. You're trying to build with our academy guys and bring these guys up, and like it's been working. A lot of these guys are just showing their value and showing how good our system is. We just need the right coach to do it, and Allegri's been good, man. He's one of the top coaches to introduce, give people like their first start this season. So like he is. People said, he sucks with youth. He doesn't like youth. He's been giving them a shot this year. He has been more open to it, but doesn't mean he's the right guy for the youth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think having Thiago Motta at a team like Juve, with the mentality he has, with the experience he has with the youngsters, and also the experience in his time of playing, and communicating with the more veteran guys that they'll have on the team and they have on the team now, I just think it's a match made in heaven. I don't know. It's just like a thing in me.
No, like I do agree. I do think Thiago Motta with Juve would be a good thing. My fear always with like a team like Juve is the amount of patience that they're given. No. You know what I mean? Like that has always been my thing with these top clubs, that they don't want that transitional period of, I need almost like a year to convey my ideas. You know what I mean? Like you see Pep Guardiola when he went to City. Yeah, okay, they were still good when he was there his first year, but did they really accomplish as much as they could have? No. Why is that? Because he's still trying to get his ideas out. He still needs the players to fit his system. This and that. So like even like with Thiago Motta, he's young and whatever. Last year he was with Bologna. They weren't anything special. They were decent. They competed, but he needed that time to settle in, to get his team like theories across and stuff like that. And with a team like Juve, it's more so like cutthroat. And that would be my fear, that like when he goes to Juve, that there's no patience for him. He's not getting the best.
We've had Allegri for the last 2 years, and if we've done the same, so I mean, I think we have the patience. It's just you need to see some progress. Like if he comes in, okay, I think now we're past the point of. I think it was the year after we didn't win, and then the year after that, everyone was like just freaking out because like everyone was on a high of winning for 9 years. Like, okay, guys, come down, relax. Hey, we didn't win. It's good. It was bound to happen. Yeah. But I think now we're at that point where okay, we just want to see something, some change, some sort of, something happening that is helping the team, and the team's actually growing and not just stagnant and just staying the same. Like, dude, you look at last year's numbers compared to this year, at this point right now, I think we have 1 point less than last year. So yeah, okay, we went on a hot streak, but then we dropped a shit ton of points in February. So what does it all mean? What improvements have we made?
Yeah.
Really nothing. So at the end of the day, yeah, he's gonna come. He goes to a team like Juve, he's gonna have that pressure. But he was also a player. He was on big teams. He knows what pressure is. He's felt pressure before. He's gonna go there, and he'll bring that mentality. And I honestly think he won't be scared of having that pressure.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, as long as he shows progress in the team's getting better, it's playing better, there's an improvement from the previous seasons. Then, hey, if we don't still win because Inter takes it because this Inter team is strong, then hey, so be it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, as long as we see progress, that's all we're asking for.
Yeah. No, I get it.
The pressure's always going to be there no matter what. But at the end of the day, Joe, that's what separates the good coaches and the great coaches.
Yeah.
The guys that aren't scared to make that jump and say, you know what? No, I'm ready. And hey, I don't feel pressure. Like Mourinho, I think it was when he was with Porto. What is pressure? I don't feel pressure.
Okay,
but you know what? That mentality there, man, it got him far in his career. And you know what? You have to be. You can't be scared of a challenge. You can't be. Oh fuck! I'm gonna go there, and there's gonna be a lot of pressure on me, to do good. And if I don't do good, you can't think like that because already you're getting in your own head. You already fucking have the wrong mentality going into it. You got to think, hey, I don't feel nothing. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna bring my ideas there. We're gonna be playing good, and we're gonna come top 2 this season, and have that confidence.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. Show an improvement, and I'm telling you, he will be praised.
Yeah. I think I do, like, again, I've said it before, I'll always say, like, I do actually think Thiago Motta is like the real deal, even the way he looks at the sport, the game, like in total, like the formation,
2-7-2.
Yeah, like I could do nothing but commend him and commend what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the first to say maybe overrated coach, maybe whatever, and maybe I'll eat my words, but I do think maybe Thiago Motta is more or less the real deal.
I love when you eat your words.
Yeah.
Like Bremer, love it.
Yeah, but you don't want me to eat my own words with Thiago Motta because I'm commending him right now. I'm saying he's a good coach and he might be the real deal.
No, but you're saying, but the pressure, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
you're kind of going wishy-washy right now.
If you think he could handle said pressure.
Well, you asking me if you think he can.
Well,
I'm kidding.
6:45. No. Besides Thiago Motta, is there another coach? Not that you're linked with, because this transfer market is going to be a transfer merry-go-round of coaches.
It's all coaches.
So anything could happen. I mean, Roma did sign Mourinho as a coach, so that just goes to show anything. Everton signed
crazy.
Everton signed Carlo Ancelotti as well at one point. Yeah. So anything could honestly happen.
It's true.
So is there another coach you would like to see take over Juve if Thiago Motta goes to Barca or just doesn't want to leave Bologna? Or just goes to another team?
I always try to think of this, just kind of look at what's available and what's actually possible, and the only guys I would actually think and be able to improve this club and not be a step back would be a guy. And people might say, okay, he was handed, he was overrated. I've said it in the past, but he is a good coach and he was an even better player. I would take Zidane.
I knew you were going to say that, man.
Conte, I would accept. But I don't know, just because, I don't want to keep going backwards.
You don't want to keep on doing the
He's a great coach. Dude, Conte, if he goes to Milan, he goes to Juve, he'll win. He will win. That's just Conte. But it's just going back to that old style and everything. It just doesn't fit with what the guys we have now. I feel like he'll ruin a lot of players, especially a guy like Chiesa, who is showing this year that Allegri is wrong, and you cannot get the best out of Chiesa playing as a striker. Having him on the wing, he's so much more effective.
Yeah, he's more lethal.
If you don't play him there, you're just wasting his talent, and that's what needs to change. People need to see what they have and be like, "Hey, fuck, you know what? I gotta adapt to this because that's what it is." So, a guy like Conte, I don't know, I'd be so 50-50 with that because, I'd be happy because, at the end of the day, it's Conte. What he's gonna do to the team, but then it's you're gonna risk, sacrificing some players because of that. Other than Conte. There's not much. Every time I try to think of it, there's not much out of there that I'd be actually, hey, you know what? If I heard the thing, Sadi going back to Juve, dude, I think I would stop watching the sport. I would not watch anymore.
Yeah, Well,
I do not want him.
My hat goes off to Sadi that you resigned from Lazio. You're not in my good books again, baby. Respect you.
No, but Thiago, but sorry, Thiago. With Sadi, that I would not want. Happy he left Lazio too, but fuck him. He won his trophy with us. We gave him his title. Hey, buddy, go enjoy it and go back to Napoli. Maybe.
For me, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't know if Zidane would be the right guy for you guys. Okay, I know what he's accomplished. And I know everyone always comes at me and says, "Jose, you're stupid." You're like, Zidane, look what he won. He won a treble of fucking Champions League. I get it. But at the same time, I will look at you and say, okay, yes, that's impressive. But he also had Bale, Benzema, and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And it was peak Ronaldo. Peak Bale. That wasn't broken, made out of glass, right? He had Marcelo as a wingback, who literally is a fourth striker for them.
Yeah.
Like, he had that team. He had a dynasty. And it's like, could he come now to a team like Juve that is obviously in almost like a rebuild phase, but not really? Maybe a few missing parts here and there. And could he actually replicate that magic? Maybe time is needed. Maybe he is the right coach, but like, I don't know. I question that.
I'll say yes because of two things.
Here we go.
One,
I love Zidane. He just wants to
one. Zidane. I like, okay, yeah, he learned from the best coach in the world. Okay. Yeah, he got handed the team down right from him, already set up and everything. Yeah, 100%.
And he was his assistant.
At the end of the day, we can't take away anything from coaches. He still coached that team and played the way he wanted to play, and took ideas and his style and everything from Ancelotti. But clearly that worked, and it still works. So, not a bad thing to have. And second, the reason I think it would work is because I think it would be like a Pirlo situation where the people, especially because he's a legend for that club, they will respect him and they will like do anything for him.
Yeah.
Because you saw what Pirlo, man, at the end of the day, what people say about that, like, I'm still a little bit sour about that. I get, whatever. They were still trying to win and they had Ronaldo. And I feel like if Ronaldo left earlier, he probably would have ended up staying. But you saw the way he got playing like that in the Amazon video when he goes in the locker room and he hypes up Chiesa against Atalanta. And then Chiesa goes out there and scores a fucking brace. Like that's the kind of guy that Zidane is, and he would be in that Juve locker room, and they would all respect him because of who he is as a legend and who he is as a Juventus legend. Yeah. So that's the reasons why I can see. I get 100% what you're saying, and it's a valid point. It's a valid reason to fight the argument. But I just think that having that backing and having the team just fully like 100% committed to him and support of him, I think that would help him and like to grow this team and kind of take them to that next level.
In regard, like with Juve, I think
he's not my ideal. Like my ideal, obviously, is Thiago Motta.
Yes.
It's just another option. I wouldn't be.
I was gonna say because it's a hypothetical question.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't be. I'd be happy with him.
But like, I think the modern manager, whereas at one point it was very like almost like tactics based. Like you look at through the time, like you see Pep, very much tactics based. He knows like whatever. Mourinho, Ancelotti, Arrigo Sacchi, like all these legends of coaching. They had like a specific tactic in place. I think the modern manager that thrives are player managers, meticulous player managers. And Zidane's one of those guys because of the reputation he had as a player. When he speaks, people listen.
Exactly.
Even if you're one of the best players, that man is literally one of the best midfielders of all time. You're going to listen to him when he speaks, right? And I think that's the modern era of player that they need that motivation from a guy of that standard. You know what I mean? Like you see it like Thiago Motta again. He's played with some of the best teams throughout the history. Like Barcelona, he was there. He played on PSG. He played on Inter during their treble. Like he's been a part of whatever. And
you get a fat pig as your coach, like Sadi, and he's telling you, "Oh, you're so good. Oh my God, you're like the best player in the world." Trying to hype you up. How much are you really gonna take of that? Compared to a guy like Zidane coming to you and saying like, "What?"
I'm just laughing when you said it. A fat pig like Sadi.
Yeah, because dude,
now I'm picturing him with a cigarette.
Like you have this
gut
guy
out and everything.
reeks like butts, wearing a tracksuit, has a butt, literally the end of a cigarette in his mouth, and he's talking to you, telling you how good you are, and all you smell is just stale cigarettes. You're gonna be like, okay, hey, thanks, man. Can you like fuck off and walk away because like you reek. you have a guy like Zidane in front of you telling you how good you are and like, oh, like, hey, you know, like you're better than me at my time and like just hyping you up. Dude, you know what that even if you're only this good, just having that fucking fake confidence, dude, you're gonna be up here. You're gonna be right up.
No,
you
are. You are right.
You know what I mean?
Right
Like having that as that coach, kind of like you said, like as you know, motivating you, telling you what to do, man. That's any player's dream, especially coming from like a legend, not fucking Sadio over there.
Yeah. No, I think that's the way of the future with these coaches. And that's why, like, again, like even look at all the coaches that are doing well right now. It's former players that were playing at very high levels.
Yeah.
Whereas at one point, like the coaches of like past, they were decent players at best that became amazing coaches. Some of them didn't even play the game at a competitive level, you know, like, and they were just smart tactically. And like nowadays, like Xabi Alonso, one of the legends of the game, he's a brilliant coach. Yeah. So I do think the way of the future is kind of like more so a player coach rather than a, you know, tactics.
Even to like think in those moments, you know, when you're it's at halftime, whatever, your team's down and everybody's kind of heated and just in the heat of the moment, and then the coach, you know, talks to you and says, hey, you know, you gotta, you know, stop doing this and start doing, you know, this and this more. And then you're just in that heat of the moment, you just tell them like, okay, like fuck off, like, you know, like what do you know? And you got a guy like Zidane, it's like, hey, stop doing this, start doing this, you know, look for this. He's been open here, have this a thing. You're gonna be like, okay, you know what? Like you're gonna take it as more advice than somebody that, you know, is just like a guy that either was a shit soccer player back in the day, is a great coach now, or just a nobody.
Yeah, you're able to maintain the locker room better.
Oh, 100%.
Because you have that past experience, and they'll look at you and it's like, okay, you did this and you were successful.
Exactly.
I just got to literally listen to you, and that's it now.
100%, man. It's like De Rossi with Roma. He keeps coming in. Like he's coming in, he's pushing these guys.
Yeah, he's trying to play on my heartstrings.
But that's what I mean. But why do you think he's getting the best out of these guys? A Roma legend from Rome,
best coach in the world,
telling them, like, coaching this team and trying to and guiding them and giving them that guidance of, okay, guys, this is what it means to play for Roma.
Best coach in the world.
What kind of like what other like thing could you have?
See, maybe Juve should go after De Rossi because he's the best coach in the world right now.
He wouldn't have the same effect on Juve.
Yeah, probably not. It's like if Marquisio went back, that'd be pretty crazy.
But yeah, he's such a pretty boy. Yeah, he's not like that. He's not a coach, man. He's not.
He's just working out and modeling and looks fucking crazy.
It's
cool.
It's like if Pirlo came back, if Chiellini came on as a coach.
No, I can never take Chiellini serious. I can never take Chiellini serious.
He's a great coach, man. The guy's smart as hell.
Yeah, he is actually.
He's smart as hell, man.
But all I picture when I see Chiellini is that one video of him sticking his tongue out towards the ball. Like that's all I see. And like I don't think I'll ever be able to take Chiellini serious after that.
Yeah, I know.
And him saying, hey, it's the history of the Tottenham.
It's the history of the Tottenham. The way he talks English, man, I fucking love it.
There's such a high-pitched voice, such a barbarian on the field.
Sounds like he's out of breath every time.
Poor guy struggling with life. But I think that's all we have for
you. Who's not struggling? Did us right now?
I was gonna do the transition and introduce the topic.
I just took it over again.
I was gonna take over.
Did us see?
Oh, I'm like, wait, am I still supposed to?
No, I was waiting for you to kind of just introduce me and point at me. Say, so did us see, man? That guy, what a fucking loser. No, I'm kidding, dude. He came into this team. I chirped it. In a sense, you know, I like the move because it's De Rossi and I respect him. I do like De Rossi.
You can't hate De Rossi if you do.
But I genuinely thought, especially with the state of the team and just how Mourinho was, I didn't really think anything was, you know, gonna happen with this team, and he was gonna struggle. But he's proving everybody wrong. I know. And I mean, minus that game against Inter, which again, top team in Italy and one of the top teams in Europe.
Yeah.
So, you know, is it that bad? No. There was some, you know, controversy in that game too, which, you know, you can even say Roma could have tied that game.
Well, I mean, if Lukaku wasn't such a bum and missing fucking breakaways or squaring it, whatever. We don't talk about that though.
But just to kind of start things off, what are your, you know, initial thoughts of these first, 7 games, 8 games?
I want to say 9 games. Dude.
9 games.
9 or 10 games.
Okay. Well,
given Europa League too, that's why.
Oh,
so 3 games.
Yes.
Tomorrow will be 4 with the Europa League. And
let's say 10 games.
10 games.
No math right now. What are your initial thoughts?
No, I like him. I said it before. It's going to be tough for me to not like him simply because, like, you know, seeing him on the bench, it's so nostalgic. His passion, him getting amped, him yelling, like, dude, like, it gets me fired up. And like, I will literally look at you, and I've said this to like a couple of people, like, At one point under Mourinho, it almost became like a chore to watch Roma play because it was kind of like the same boring, stagnant soccer like you were mentioning before.
Exactly
and
how
like,
I feel right now, man.
And like I get it. At first, I was happy because it was like, oh, Mourinho just gives a fuck about the result.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Roma needs results. I want that. But then it hit the point that we weren't even getting those results. We were tying against Salernitana, tying against Lecce, and like we made average teams look good almost. That it's like, yo, why aren't we competing? And then Mourinho's comments about, not Sampdoria, Sassuolo has this guy coming off the bench. And it's like, you have Lukaku, Dybala, Pellegrini, and the list goes on of players.
Cristante too, obviously.
I don't want to talk about Cristante just yet because
he's too good.
Cristante is probably the best midfielder in the world, but we don't talk about that. No, but like you have all these guys, and you're literally discounting them and saying how like, oh yeah, but dude, Sassuolo's decent. No, dude, I'm sorry. Like you're literally talking down about the players and saying that the only good player is Dybala. How do you think the rest of the team feels?
Yeah, sure.
If I'm Pellegrini,
like shit. Hold on, Joe.
I'm gonna keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm listening.
I was gonna keep talking. If I'm Pellegrini and like I hear my coach who like, and after the first season where Pellegrini did very well, double digits in both goals and assists, and then he's still twerking about Dybala, I'd look at him like, what else do I have to do for you? Yeah. You know, like Tammy Abraham comes off a great season. Oh, we need another striker though. Like I'd feel like a bag of shit because it's like my coach doesn't even rate me after what I just did.
He doesn't fully trust me.
Yeah, and like De Rossi has come in and it's been a breath of fresh air. Like the way he speaks to the media, like that's how you know he was a former player. Like he deflects all the pressure off the players, talks about himself. If there's a mistake, if the players like play bad or whatever, he takes the blame. Oh, like against Fiorentina this past weekend, we tied 2-2. He took the blame. He's like, oh, you know what? I want to try a different formation. It didn't work out. These players like playing more attacking, progressive football. I should have been aware of that and played a 4-man back. You know, he's aware. He makes those like mistakes, but he adapts. And I think that's what Roma needs. You know, it's okay, scratch, dude. So like my initial thoughts with De Rossi is like, it's honestly been a breath of fresh air that we're actually playing like attacking football and utilizing probably our best strength right now. It's nice seeing a coach bench Rui Patricio for Miles Vilar, who like is actually makes the save. So it's nice to trust my goalie.
Trust,
yeah, you know,
you
like
somewhat trust.
I don't know what kind of blackmail Rui Patricio had on Mourinho, but
he had something. Man.
You know, like it was just crazy, and like, you know, it's a nice feeling that De Rossi is getting I'm not going to turn around and say, oh bro, he's the best coach ever. Like, he's obviously doing well. Like he's getting the best out of these players right now, and it's a fantastic reaction that you're seeing from these players.
Yeah, big time. And you know, over last week we saw, you know, something that a lot of Prem fans probably didn't want to see and thought, you know, beginning of the season, you know, not going to name any names, was on another podcast. They said, oh yeah, Brighton in Serie A, they would probably win it. I don't know, man. What I seen, was it 1, 2, 3, 4 goals popped in like nothing against Brighton.
Unanswered.
Like nothing against Brighton. And just outperformed them. Played, honestly, one of the best games that I've seen Roma play in a very long time. Yeah, I must say. Like I watched that game and I was very impressed.
That is true.
I was like, man, you know, this might just be, you know, all just, you know, because everything's still so new and so fresh. But Roma might be onto something with this move. They might be doing something. Yeah. So obviously, I know you were able to watch the game last week because you got called off work.
I showed up to work.
A blessing in disguise. So, you know, got to actually watch the game, enjoy that game, because what a game to enjoy.
Yeah.
How did it feel just seeing that happen, especially against like that was probably, you know, one of, other than Liverpool and everything, that was one of the hardest teams that you guys could have got matched up with.
Yeah, that was probably the most evenly team.
Yeah, and not who probably you wanted to match up this early on. You know, how was it just experience that, going through that? Did you expect it? Did you have any hope that game?
Fan-fucking-tastic. I will say that. I was a little nervous because I do know De Zerbi is he's a good coach. There's not taking anything away from him. But it just kind of exposed De Zerbi as like maybe he's not him, you know, as much as people say he is. It was nice seeing Roma actually bring and I even said before, my biggest fear is that Roma's playing home the first leg. if we get a win, I'm terrified
Yeah.
if we get a 1-0 win, you know, like one of those shitty scrape the barrel wins. But they came out, they were guns blazing. One wasn't enough. They kept pushing. And that's the kind of football I've wanted to see Roma play for a while now. That it was, no, we're better than them. Let's fucking start to flex it and play like that. And it was nonstop, even when we were winning 3-0. No, let's keep pushing forward. Let's keep playing nice soccer.
Dude, I love that match. Like they did not play scared at all. Like they went out there and they didn't give a fuck who they were playing, where they were from. They didn't give a fuck. They went out there, fucking guns blazing, and just took over that game, man.
And that for me is probably one of the biggest things I haven't seen from Roma, because it's like it was an actual like positive reaction to that game. Like, oh, we drew a Premier League team, and I love you Prem-tards that want to speak about fucking how much better the Prem is and how Brighton would finish in a top spot and Brighton could maybe even win the league. They'd be competing for it. And then you get dicked down by a team that is competing for a Champions League spot still. Yep. And like it wasn't just like, oh yeah, you know, like there were Brighton could have won. No, like Welbeck had one chance.
Yeah. The only thing is, and we can make us completely eat our words, and I hope not, and I hope, Joe, you fine wear my Roma jersey tomorrow to support. I hope
this could all
tomorrow doesn't happen 5-0 Brighton, and then
let's not manifest that vibe. Let's manifest that we.
I swear to God, Joe, I'm gonna put money on them so that they win. I will tell. Oh, you know what? We'll tell Ro to put money on Brighton.
Yes, because he's bad luck. So I'm down. I'm down for that. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, it was a fantastic feeling. It was nice. It's not done like all the players say.
But that first game, did you expect it to go like that?
No, not at all. I was already texting my cousin, who's a Roma fan too, and I'm like, I'm scared of this result because Brighton is one of those teams that loves to play like high flying football too, right? And it's like maybe we finally like met our match. The De Rossi honeymoon era is done. Like he's gonna get dick down. And Italian coach, like you know, like all this stuff. Like it's just. We're in the stars. This is it. We're done. Like I actually wrote Roma off myself. Maybe that's because I was trained from that the last 2 years. But
that's the thing. You know, it's still we've had some time to actually see the real kind of De Rossi and what his idea is, but he still needs a lot more time for us to actually fully see what De Rossi can do with this Roma team. You need to see a full season of it. And I know you just mentioned the honeymoon stage, so. Do you think this is just a honeymoon stage for him in Roma, or do you think that he's the real deal? This guy's going to be in some time another top Italian coach.
See, okay,
because I don't know if you knew this, but sorry, before you start, Italy makes some pretty good coaches. I would say.
Usually sometimes something like that ever exists. Sometimes
something like that.
Do I think he's the next best Italian coach? Like one of them. I don't know because, okay, you look at Spal and I get it. Every coach has had its bad, like, tenure at a club, 100%. But I feel like with De Rossi, it's just that perfect recipe almost. Ex-Roma legend. He knows how to motivate the players, especially because Roma has, like, a core of Roman-born players, right? So he's able to get the absolute best out of them. He could look at Pellegrini, Roman-born, through the academy, like everything like that. He could look and be like, hey, I was in your shoes. The fans will bash you and murder you, but you're still the captain. You're the gladiator. You got to fucking smarten up, toughen up, whatever it is. Like, it goes back to what I said about the player motivation thing. He's a player's coach.
Yeah.
He gets the best. He's motivating these guys. You see him celebrating every goal. Like it's fucking like he's still playing the game. So I don't know if he'll be the next best Italian coach. Like he's the real deal in that regard. I do think him at Roma is a great recipe for success. I think he's one of those coaches that like Roma should and definitely should consider for next year's coach as well and give him that contract because it's one of those like you gotta grow. And we got Mourinho right off the rip, right? Like the second the Friedkins bought Roma, and it's like you're going balls to the wall. Let's get one of the best coaches of all time. Like crazy, bold.
A lot of people were surprised about that move.
Yeah, right. Like Roma, I've been saying it, even under Fonseca, before Mourinho, we need to rebuild. We have a decent enough core. Let's rebuild around that. And I think De Rossi's the perfect man for that. There's going to be bumps. There's going to be little mountains you got to climb. There's going to be all of that. But it's learning curves for both De Rossi as a coach and like his maturity and Roma, who really needs to go through that with their young core. Like, it's So I consider for next year 100%. I would have already given him the contract, to be honest with
I'll
you.
say I would.
You know,
I
like
probably
given
would- I
this
probably
run
would
of
too.
form, like I'd probably give it
At least a 1-year deal.
you
See
know,
how
and
that
then
goes.
option
Full
to extend
season.
for another year, like whatever. Because obviously you could turn around and say maybe De Rossi's extra motivated because he's trying to play for a contract.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with a guy like De Rossi. Nothing is never enough for him.
Mhm.
So like I could see him, even if you give him the contract today, he would look at you and be like, okay, no, but I still want to do this.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. So like that's why and I like the fact that against Fiorentina, he didn't bench his star players. He's able to get like maximum fitness out of these guys. You know, he sees the opportunity with Brighton to rest some key guys because we have the 4-goal lead. So like he's resting Lukaku and Dybala now and Pellegrini. Is it ideal? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But
Could fight
I
him, yeah,
understand where he's coming from because it's like, listen, you have a 4-goal lead. All you literally have to do is not concede 4 goals or 5 goals, sorry.
Yeah.
And you're through to the next round. So I understand you rather than play your best team in the league. So like whatever. But yeah, no, I don't know. This honeymoon stage, I'm hoping it lasts for a hot minute because it's De Rossi. And that's the thing. I do see it lasting because it's De Rossi.
Yeah. But like you say, I think it will have its ups and downs like throughout. But I just hope that, you know, the owners and the people behind the scenes at Roma, they really look at this and you know, see what he's doing and, you know, look at it and say, you know what, let's give this guy another year. Let's give him a shot at a full season and just see what he can do. Yeah. Let's like, you know, like what, dude, he's probably going to get them in a Champions League spot.
Yeah. If there's if there's a fifth spot, I think like we're a very, very like,
that's what
good
I mean.
Not locked because we're only a point ahead of Atalanta.
No, but you could put,
we're in
dude,
contention.
you guys are,
we control our own destiny in that regard.
So I could see him, like, if he makes Champions League, man, why not give him another year? There's nothing to lose. If he came and if he was doing shit, okay, I get it. But if he's doing good, he keeps him in a Champions League spot. They finish the season like that. They're in Champions League next year. They're getting that money now from Champions League.
You owe it to him.
Why not
dude?
keep it? Why not keep him for a
That's
year?
my biggest thing too. Like, and he also has the value of let's get these young players in. Us getting Tommaso Baldanzi. I know a lot of people are looking at him saying, "Who the fuck is he?" Like, whatever. But he's supposed to be like what? Not the next best thing, but he's supposed to be a very good player. You know, he's supposed to be a great tactician, shit like that. And you wouldn't have seen a deal like that for a young player for Roma under Mourinho or other coaches. So that's a clear sign that they want to build young and build some sort of core and dynasty. You know what I mean? So like, I think De Rossi is that guy.
It just, I feel like it just comes down to the owners, Max. You genuinely don't know because even like using you as an example, when they had an ex-legend like Pirlo, you really look at that season. He made Champions League, he won Coppa Italia, and he won the Super Cup, and he got sacked. Yeah, and there was backing. You know, they're happy with him. He's a club legend. You know, all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I know, but we want like someone like Allegri. You know, he wants to come back, and he's like a top coach and all this stuff, and blah 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 blah. That's where I hope the owners of Roma aren't stupid and make that same wrong decision.
Yeah, see, because that's the thing too. There's on the flip side of things, you could look at Roma and say like, oh, is De Rossi only doing this well because technically there's no pressure for him. You know, like even if he came in and tanked the rest of the season, nobody could really be mad because it's like, we were already in a shit position.
That's what I mean. Like
it's a coach with no skill, like technically, like new.
So now, how would you feel if let's say you finish like this, you guys make Champions League, you guys come fifth, end of the season comes around, you guys sack him.
I'd be pissed.
But hold on, you guys sack him only because Conte was available and he was willing, and he ended up signing for Roma.
I wouldn't take it.
Okay.
Honestly, Conte's coming out. What cost? More than Mourinho, probably.
No, let's say free.
Okay, if he's free, nah. I ride out with De Rossi still. I ride out. See, but that's the part where my nostalgia and heart takes over because it's like that's my dog. Like seeing him on, dude. Every time Roma posts a picture of him walking through the tunnel, and then you see the De Rossi there, it's like, hey, Dad, how are you?
This is so beautiful.
Yeah, dude. Like it's beautiful to see him celebrating. Like I love coaches with passion and like. Yeah, Mourinho had it. He brought the fans together again, but like De Rossi's the epitome of fucking passion, man. You know, it's like if Buffon were to coach. That man is all passion.
Yeah.
So it's just seeing that on the bench again. Like I'm excited for the Euro for that reason. seeing Buffon on the bench, you know he's gonna be singing the fucking
gonna
national anthem louder than anybody. You know he's gonna be the
It'll be a
first
joy to
one
see.
when they score. He'll run onto the field like that passion. That's what I live for. Like those coaches, those are my coaches.
Mhm.
So
I can't argue, man. I agree with that.
yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna get sentimental. So before we get all sentimental, thank you for letting me talk about Roma.
No problem. No
Appreciate
problem.
that.
That's right. I want to give you the opportunity.
We are gonna keep up with the Roma Juve thing.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
We built a team before of Juve and Roma players of all time and whatever. And I was trying to.
And majority of them are all older players because they are legends and, they're better than the guys we have now.
Yeah.
But not take away from any of them.
We are going to speak today and build you a team of current Roma and Juve players. A combined 11 of our teams. Stipulation, of course, Al says Roma players. I say Juve players. Because if it's up to me, I'm choosing guys like Cristante. And I know he doesn't actually slot into the midfield because I know Al would punch me in the temple.
I'll take Cristante.
So, Al, to start things off, I'm going to go first because I really don't want our goalies to be in net for this team.
I was gonna take Rui Patricio.
I know you would have because whatever. And I don't want that negativity in my life.
Okay.
So, what, 4-3-3 or should we go 3-man backline? Because we both.
I think we both play. Yeah, let's do 3-man back.
Okay, 3-man backline. I will start things off. I'm going to start off with, obviously, Szczesny.
Okay. I'll go Mancini.
My goat. I'm going to go beside him, Bremer. I was going to choose Danilo because that could be captain.
Yeah.
I do love Danilo, but Bremer,
yeah.
He made me eat my words,
Yes.
and he is the real deal. He's a pretty good player.
Okay, so then the other center back, I'm going to go with my boy Dean.
Such a prick. I knew you were gonna say. Well, okay. Honestly, the only other center back I'd say.
Okay, I'm not going small.
Yeah, no. I would have said.
I hope you know that.
I would have said literally
after what he did to Chiesa. Never.
I would have said Indica. That's the only other consideration I'd have. Maybe. Okay. Left wing back. It's obvious. I fucking love him. I would love if he played for Roma and like whatever. Cambiaso. One of the best in the league, if not the best. Sorry, DeMarco. Not sorry. I do love
some real shit, man. Some real shit. Okay, center mid. First center mid, I'm going to be going with has to be El Capitano Pellegrini.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer there, to be honest with you. I mean, I would have said probably like above it, but whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna go. See, I'm kind of torn because I do love Miretti. Like I love that youngster, but I'm gonna go with Locatelli.
You can also choose Fagioli too if you want.
I do want to choose Fagioli, but he hasn't played, so everyone's gonna bro, what do you mean?
Take Fagioli, dude. Probably the best midfielder we have.
No, I'm gonna say Locatelli because this year he actually,
he did.
In all honesty, he actually really did step up and own that role. And I think, as much as everyone says Rabiot was the stand-up player,
he was.
I think it's been Locatelli's been working in silence, and I love that. So Manuel Locatelli is my other center mid.
Okay, well then I guess we're gonna keep this thing all Italian. Bove, welcome to the lineup.
My young star boy, baby. I'm gonna buy a Bove jersey. I'm gonna get jaw surgery, so I have that like him.
I was kind of hoping to get the right wing back, so I was gonna put Karsdorp.
I know.
But now you have that.
You could have kind of jumped and said that.
No, I didn't want to.
I wouldn't have mind because I do love Rick. Right wing back.
Your options are there's not many.
No, I'm gonna play him out of position because he's done it a couple times. Big Wes. Weston McKennie.
He has played there.
I'm gonna go with Weston McKennie.
He did a number on that side, man.
Just in case we want to change formations at any point in the game, we got Big Wes. That ranch eating guy.
Fuck, man. You're a smart guy. You're a smart guy. Not gonna lie.
I went to Thiago Motta's school.
So now we got what we need. Just the two strikers now.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is obvious.
I will go with Romeldo. No, Dybala.
I was gonna say no. I would literally kick the chair from underneath you, dude.
I fucking hate La Caca. You think I'm gonna choose him?
I actually don't like him.
I didn't like him with United. I didn't like him with Chelsea. I didn't like him with Inter. I don't like him now.
I don't even think I liked him when he was on West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah,
and he did nothing to me.
I just didn't like him. Never liked the guy, so he would never be on my team.
So Lukaku, okay. No, sorry, Dybala. You're going with?
Mm-hmm.
This is no brainer. I'm not gonna say Kenan Yildiz because he's dating Madison Beer.
Why?
Fuck that guy. He's a fucking
Okay.
flash in the pan,
Yeah,
man.
okay.
Vlahovic, I don't rate at all.
Fuck up, you stupid fuck.
So I'm gonna go with the one and only
Yeah, I know how you're gonna go with.
Federico
You're
Chiesa.
gonna carry Italy on his back. Of course, you're gonna go with him.
Yeah, dude, that's my throat goat.
Okay. And then coach has to be Diros.
Neither. We're gonna say Pirlo.
I'll give you Diros. Yeah,
Okay,
this one. I'll give you Diros.
Yeah.
This one. I'll take you on that.
De Rossi is better.
We take Giantoli.
Yeah. Oh
we
yeah.
take
Tenant. We don't even have a technical director.
Doesn't matter.
We have a girl that's CEO, Lina.
Oh, you guys don't have
No.
Pinto anymore.
It's
Pinto beans?
Tiago Ping left.
Where'd he go?
He just left.
All right.
The worst part is like,
all right, guys, deuces.
he didn't
I'm
even
out
want
of
to
here.
leave. Like he literally, he's like, yeah, yo, I got you Baldanzi. Sick. Where are you gonna? You want to stay? Nah, I'm out. Cheers. And he just left. He's not. He doesn't even have a job right now. He's just there.
You know what that means? Munch gonna come back. Munch gonna come back.
Wait, I'll stop watching Roma. That bald fraud did a number on us, and I will never want to see him
And
again.
he will be back.
No, we're getting.
bring-
We're actually getting a thing.
Who?
You're gonna laugh at this.
Who?
Kolarov.
Oh my god.
Alexander Kolarov's coming home, baby.
The Lazio legend.
Is that why when he scored against Lazio, he went like this?
Anything else like this?
I love him. So him and Todd, they're supposed to be technical directors together, but whatever. Who's keeping track? Not
Man,
me.
dude. Roma just building a fucking dude. All they need is Totti to join the party,
think,
and they're
I
gonna have
think-
all past and present team.
I think Cafu's coming back. Cafu's gonna come back and
Comes
teach.
as a defender coach.
He's gonna teach Rick Cars know how to tear up the right flank.
Batigo comes back.
Dybala stays forever. Lifetime contract signed. Messi comes shoot.
Finished his career at Roma. Ooh, he bought that house in Italy that one time.
Yeah, but he's still going to Inter. They signed him that time. Remember?
Yeah, him and Modric.
Yeah,
He's almost
yeah.
there
They're
soon.
there. No, they're
Soon.
there. This year, they're there. Oh, guys.
But I think that's it.
Yeah,
And then what's the score in the Inter game?
Inter is.
Give you guys a little live update right now.
2-1 extra time.
Oof, going right to pens.
Yeah, it's going to pens.
All right,
So,
guys. I think we end
Fernando.
things there. Maybe we catch the ending to this game. Well, I think we'll probably just catch the pens because it's gonna probably get whistled now.
Yeah.
Guys, like Joe said at the beginning, if you haven't already, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at AltXI. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Mhm.
And until next week, we will see you then. Ciao.
See you later.